Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about The Amazing Race 37, Episode 7.
This was so good.
So good, and my long-awaited results. I actually walked in. Well, sorry, we need to do but first.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Nerdtainment. I'm sure Nick and Mike, the bros, want to support us on Patreon after the way I've treated them. And I feel like I have to kind of keep up my attitude about all this, because I walked in and I was like, "Oh, poor bros," and Sarah goes, "Don't act like you care now."
Oh, you care now, yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I can't just be nice now that they're eliminated. I got to give it to them." So I'm gonna give it to them.
You've been hard on them all season, and here we are. Though they kind of went with what you've been saying.
They did 1 week later than I predicted. But we'll get to
their
elimination, because to begin with, we are now flying to Sofia, Bulgaria, which is not, as it turns out, Sofia Vergara.
It is not. It is not even a person.
Yeah.
It is just a place. But it is the first time that the race has gone to Bulgaria.
Oh, I missed that detail.
This is the first, so that's exciting.
Cool.
And they're all going to be on the same flight, so no drama here as we get started.
No, but pre-flight.
Quick. We'll get right to it quick.
The self-drive really made everything so entertaining.
Yeah, right into it.
Pre-flight, or pre-getting everything going, it's those sound bites of starting the leg, which is where we get the Sofia Vergara joke, and Jonathan, of course, is like optimistic, but just seems absolutely listless in the car. And the bros are feeling very lucky, and they're gunning for first.
I wrote it down in quotes. We're gunning for first. This is the first time I've heard it, but you brought it up. And I was like, oh dear.
I wonder how many times they said it before I picked up on it.
Yeah.
You know, they might have been saying it all season.
I think that's their mantra. They did talk me through some of the way they were thinking in our exit interview. And part of it was like, fears, anxieties, discouragements, but like trying to start from a positive place.
I get that.
Every leg. Yeah. Gunning for first.
Yep.
But
let's see. Let's put it in the universe and see if it.
Gunning means.
Nope.
Oh, poor guys.
So Bulgaria is the self-drive.
Yeah.
And immediately. You can't even get out of a parking garage.
No, we can't. And like it's just stick. They're on the correct side of the car and stuff. There's no like extra.
Right.
It's just literally you're driving.
That is definitely something someone who knows how to drive stick would say. It's just stick. Like, that's actually a huge obstacle for many people.
Fair.
Because people can't even put it in reverse.
No.
Like, I actually loved how Mark came up and he was like, if I show you what to do, you got to let me go first.
Because I'm sorry, Han and Holden trying let me go around them.
Right.
No, here's the thing about Europe, though. You cannot. Those little parking garages are small.
Mm-hmm.
There is no getting around and like getting up a little parking garage ramp. That's true. I've had plenty of like panic attacks in a European parking garage.
Yeah.
So they're just being like, well, let's try to go around. Mark's trying to find reverse. And I'm sure there is like a trick to it. It's not always exactly
where
reverse is.
The way he described it was like my understanding of reverse and stick, where you do sort of go like and it's like back here, whereas like the rest of the gears are over here and then reverse is kind of back here.
Right. I mean, that is the first place I would try.
Okay. Okay.
But can't say I don't know. I wasn't
coming
in that
from
car.
Someone who knows how to drive stick.
That's true.
The other thing the Amazing Race producers must be thrilled about is the advent of the smartphone, because not only can young people not drive stick, but they cannot read maps.
No, they cannot. But here's the thing. You prepare for the race.
Yeah. Look at a map.
And we heard Alyssa say we prepared for this. It is just not like you that's just what you do.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. You just go look at a map, because more than likely you're going to run into this.
Yeah.
So parking garage, finding reverse, Han and Holden, they do have to back up because Mark shows them where reverse is.
Yeah.
They're going to go out, and Jack and Carson are going to exit the parking garage first, all excited. and then proceed to not drive in the right direction.
Well, they don't even have cars in New York. Like, it's not even about
right.
what version of a car you drive. It's like, do you even drive a car?
Yeah,
No, they don't.
apparently not. So don't race out to be the first out of the parking garage.
That's fair.
Fall in line.
Yeah.
Like,
see where people are going.
Race them when you guys stop at the challenge. But the fact that you're like, I got out just to drive you guys 40 something miles in the wrong direction.
They said hours. And I was like, that cannot be true.
Yeah.
But it did seem to be hours out of the way.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Horrible.
So anyway, Alyssa said she trained for this. Jack and Carson, blah, blah, blah. Erica doesn't know how to read a map.
No. Erica's like, oh, I was supposed to read a map?
Yes.
Prep for this? Oops.
Yes.
So the first thing that we're going to do while Jack and Carson are on their own little journey all across Bulgaria is this route info where it's like an apple offering for this ritual. I think Mark and Brett were like, this is the one time we want to wear the thing. And I was like, literally thinking the same thing. I'm like, they should be wearing that thing and doing the dance, but.
Doja Cat Coachella.
Yeah, right.
Which I was like, what? It was accurate.
It was. Yeah, they shoved the side by side.
Yeah.
Jonathan and Anna get there first. And to me,
they apparently do know how to drive and
they do
read a map.
Just not park, but they do know how to drive. But when they were grabbing their crates of apples and putting them in the wheelbarrow, I was like, this feels like a colossal failure of engineering, that this community would build the wheelbarrow like this, and then the crates don't fit right into it. But I'm like, the producers did it like that on purpose. And also, you could just empty the crate into the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, I don't think you were supposed to put the crate in the wheelbarrow like these first two teams do, right? Anna's going to set the tone. She puts it in like that. Sure, why not? It kind of works. She balances it.
Yeah.
They go off. I think Mark and Brett copy because they saw it, but no other team saw them do that, and they just dumped their apples in, and that's probably what everyone thought you were going to do.
Yeah.
But this is obviously no big deal. We're going to go one at a time,
it's
drop
very
off
quick.
These apples.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, Jonathan is going to not quite see the signs for parking and park a little out of.
Isn't that after?
Is that not this place?
Is this the?
Anyway.
I think it's after the haystack that he gets stuck. So not quite this one, but you're right. He does misread the parking signs eventually. But this thing, they're in and out, and then they're going to go to the detour clue, which is in a library. They're really sending them all over to all these different locations this episode. And it's kind of hard to keep track of like who's where, because by the way, Jack and Carson are still out in the countryside. But the library thing is very quick. It's just like clues hidden within books. And then it takes them to haystack or woodstack.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't even write down about the library.
Oh.
That's why I forgot about it. Would we have done the haystack or the woodstack?
I think we would have done haystack.
100%.
I think we would have been really confident
that
we were going to find that token within the haystack.
I would be like, okay, one moment to meditate. Universe, show me where the bracelet is. And I would have just gone right to it on the haystack. I'm that confident in myself that I'd be like, haystack, let's go.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Tell me where this token is.
I'd be like, hey, talk to me.
You would just like heart the stack and reach in, and there it would be.
Tell you what I wouldn't do.
400 pounds of logs.
Well, that or just toss hay to the side haphazardly.
No, whole chunks.
Yep.
No. So... And when I saw the woodstack, I was like, poor Pops and Jeff. This was their challenge.
This is it.
They would have been like, you know what? We'll chop the wood ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we'll lug it.
You're like, what? You chopped it already?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I felt sad for them. But we see Jack and Carson get their directions at the hotel. They're on their way back as now.
But this is the moment of panic. When they get these directions and you look at the map.
Oh, they show us.
I was like, hold up, where you left and where you were headed, just like
so close,
just like right here on the map,
and
they're way down here.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So, but they were so far behind. I actually kind of questioned when they were like laying the map out on the car. I was like, get in the car and go. But I think they're like,
no,
we
at this
are
point,
so far behind.
yeah. No,
we have nothing but time to show you this map.
They are donezo.
Yeah.
They are.
This is literally the mistake that should have sent them home.
Yeah, 100%. I thought, honestly, around this time, I was like, oh my God, David's wrong. It's not going to be Nick and Mike. It's going to be the gamers who've been top of the leaderboard this whole time.
Well, and by the way, I got spoiled that it was the brothers.
Sure.
So I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, the brothers really blew it.
Yep.
Jack and Carson are this far behind.
No, yeah.
Granted, the W turn played into that, and Jack 100%. And Carson got lucky with that.
Yes.
Anyway, they're on their way back, and we see Jonathan and Anna and Alyssa and Josiah pick haystack.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty quickly, Jonathan is going to be all over Anna about it's her fault that they chose this, and she made the wrong decision.
Absolutely. So there was a few episodes ago that he was like, I'm just going to let you pick. And you were like, I'm going to watch this. And he has. She has been picking the tasks, the challenges, and Jonathan's been going along with it.
Not silently,
but
though.
But that gives him full right to complain about her choices.
I wonder if that's why she's not. Because I'm like, if I were her, I would be snapping at him so hard about like, you have to shut up,
girl,
while I'm doing this.
I'll be like, put your head in that hay.
Right. But like, I guess maybe she's like, well, he let me pick. So
no, she just handles him so well. Honestly, she's just like, do the work. She's like, put your head down and do the work. And she makes great points because like at some point he was like, we've lost our lead because whoever it was, Melinda and Erica, right? They find it immediately. Yeah. I think it's them. Or whoever it is. Somebody finds it really quickly.
Alyssa and Josiah.
Oh, sorry. Josiah and Alyssa. Yeah. They come up there. They find it immediately. They are us.
Yeah.
We would have found it immediately. And he's like, you lost our lead for us.
Wow.
And she
nice
was
job,
like,
Anna.
She was like, we would still be doing the wood if we were doing this. So just keep looking. Like she just is like focused.
Yeah.
She's so good at focusing.
She really is.
And not punching him in the face, which is what I would do.
Meanwhile, at Woodstack, Mark and Brett have decided to go over there because hay is itchy. And
hay is itchy. I've been sneezing up a storm.
Oh, right. You have pretty bad allergies.
Yes. Yeah. But I'd still find it real
quick. But the wood, it turns out, is very heavy.
Yes.
And they were trying to figure out the math of kilograms. And is it double pounds or is it half? Pounds.
It
is double. Yeah. So it is going to be 440 pounds of wood that they're going to have to move.
Yes, that is a lot. But luckily, so Mark and Brett are going to be able to do it, I think, in 2 trips. Yeah. Some people are going to have to do 3. Don't quite get it. So we see Jonathan and Anna haystack. Mark and Brett Woods, Josiah and Alyssa in and out real quick with haystack.
Yeah.
And then because they get out so quickly, we're going to now learn about the W turn.
The W turn is ahead. Now, as soon as Alyssa and Josiah leave, we do see Melinda and Erica kind of show up to the detour clue at the library.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to pick haystack because they're like, the physical's too much for mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When they've done the physical in the past, and I'm like, oh my gosh, stop. Mm-hmm.
Jack and Carson are still lost. We just keep cutting back to them, like still not there.
Not even playing the game.
We go back to haystack. Thank God, Anna finds the token.
Of course she did.
And she's like,
Jonathan
here it is.
Wasn't gonna find it.
So shut up.
Yeah. She's like, let's go. Follow me. I did it. And this is when we say, karma, bit you in the butt. Because you are not nice to your wife.
Yeah.
So your car is stuck.
Yep. So they parked in the ditch.
They did. They did not park where there was designated parking, which we saw when they got there. They were not in the right place. And I was like, ooh, are they going to get penalized or something?
Yeah.
And nature said yes.
Yeah. So it was actually like, it really was karma for the haystack because they did not use the W turn. We actually see 3 teams go through.
Yeah.
Alyssa and Josiah don't use it. They don't want the like blood on their hands. Jonathan and Anna, Brett and Mark all don't use it.
Yeah, and I get it at this point when it's this individual run up. Do you want to use it or not? you just leave it to those
Leave it
back
for
of the
those
pack
who are struggling.
teams,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But when like Alyssa and Josiah are off, I think when Jonathan and Anna are now stuck, but
Yes.
Brett and Mark come up and they're like, we'll help you for like 2 minutes and then we're gonna go.
And that's a nice way to do it.
I think so too.
Because like show like you have a little effort.
Yeah.
But obviously you're not going to stay for long. Like if another team ran by or something.
It was great when teams were arriving
Mhm.
and they're like,
oh,
too
no,
bad.
well, you're definitely not going to do it when you're
No,
arriving.
not when you're behind.
No.
Yeah.
But they like give it a good push and you can't. This car is stuck. So Mark and Brett aren't going to stay. You got to go.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do with this car.
Except rely on the kindness of locals.
Those locals.
The Bulgarians came out, started shoving twigs under the tires, but that was not working. I'm curious, like, jot down that question. How long did y'all wait before a man pulled out like a tow rope?
Yeah.
And pulled your car out of the ditch? What would they have done? I mean, Jonathan was very defeatist, but I think, right, like if a local had not found it in the kindness of their heart to help them, they would have been stuck there.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes there are rules about like getting another car, but you have to wait to get another car. Because I remember
we saw, was it when we were watching season 7 or something like that? And it was on the safari and someone's car kept, like they kept blowing a tire or something like that. And they kept getting replacement cars.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, I think they're like when your car does break down, the race will get you a replacement car, but it's going to take the time to go get a replacement car, right? I don't know if parking, incorrectly in a ditch gets you a replacement car. But it would have taken a while. I wasn't too, even though I was kind of laughing about the karma of it all, I certainly wasn't feeling bad for them.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, you're out of it for sure, because I was like, the race is going to help you at some point with something.
And with the amount of time that Nick and Mike are going to be stuck in the hay.
Right. Well, there's a double U-turn, so we know that people are going to be taking longer anyway.
True.
But locals, of course, are going to come out.
Yep.
And they try different things, so it probably did take a while, because sometimes they get in, sometimes they're pushing and all this, and then one's like, let's just pull it back.
So they finally get out. Now we've got Han and Holden and the brothers on the wood. And the brothers are actually, they're quite strong. We've seen it throughout the physical tasks are where they shine. And they're doing great on the wood.
Sure.
But while that is happening, because everybody's going to have to do multiple trips on the wood stack of it all, because you can't carry 200 pounds per person. We're going to go to the roadblock. Who's ready to fill her up?
Well, that is not clear what that
is. I said the fact that this is about milking a sheep, I am never going to put that together.
What are you filling up?
Even Mark, I think, was like, I thought maybe it was like a hole that I had to fill.
Yeah, he didn't think it was touching udders. My boy has problems with udders, apparently. The way his face was like, oh,
yeah. No, it's the same as when he had to go in the ocean that one time. Like, this man has several things.
Did he have a problem with the ocean?
Remember when they like unzipped and it was the surfing thing and he was like, dang it.
Yeah, we weren't clear on what that was about. No.
Anyway, he apparently one of his dreams in life is to never touch another.
He was like, this is the one thing I didn't want to do. I was like, what?
That's so specific.
I would not know to list
this.
I didn't know udders were like a big thing. I'm like, no skydiving, no bungee jumping.
No, thank you.
I'm okay with udders. Like, I don't. Like, we just had Alyssa. She like opens it. She's like, what is
it? Yes. I was very amused by this whole roadblock, though, because there's that 102-year-old woman there. She's singing some ditty when they are introducing this challenge. And then it turns out Bulgarians are known for yogurt. I was like, it's not even about milk. I mean, I know it's all dairy, but it's like not just the milk, it's the yogurt.
Yeah.
And then did you see the thing where Phil was like crouched next to her?
Uh-huh.
And he's doing his little intro.
Yeah.
And he says his line and then and they sped through whatever she said and they just went ding on her thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's like they could not get her to nail that line.
They couldn't get her to nail whatever that was. And they couldn't cut it. They didn't have the coverage to do a cut there. They had to speed through her lips and hope that we didn't notice she was saying something to end like that. Poor grandma. Great grandma.
She seemed like
she's 102 years old. If I am
what
102,
did I sign up for?
Which first off, I don't want that yogurt.
Please no.
I ain't living that long.
No.
But if I were and y'all came up with your camera, I'd be like, no.
100%.
I'm going to take a nap.
And I do think she regretted this about halfway through. She's like, we're still here eating yogurt?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, was she there when Jack and Carson showed up? Like, let the woman take a break.
She probably had to go down for a nap.
She's like, I only work for 2 hours a day, please.
Yeah. Well, now we're back at the wood. The brothers get half of the wood in one trip. I'm like, great. They're going to do it in 2 trips.
No, they did not get half of the wood in one trip.
Yeah, they did.
They got like 80 something kilograms
That's
or whatever.
Close enough.
But it's not.
Well, they're 1
100.
kilogram short in the second thing.
That's why you have to get 100. Mark and Brett got 100 something. And Mike and Nick got under 100. That's our
I think it was over 80.
It was 80 something. It was like 82, 85 something. 85, yeah. But it was not half.
It was more than Han and Holden. I think they got like 70 kilograms on their first try. So Han and Holden, it was like clear that they were going to take 3 trips. For me, the brothers were like close enough that I was like, they can do this in 2.
No, I was like, uh-oh. Because you are so tired from the amount you just brought.
Yeah.
And to think you have to pile up more, I think it's a difficult...
That's a mental thing to get over.
You're like, did I...
Or
this?
When you pile up the same amount, you're like, this is certainly more,
this is certainly
right?
More, right.
Yeah.
I
Good point.
feel like that's what you do.
Good point.
Which is what they do.
It's what happens. Alyssa finishes the milking quite quickly, and then it's just like race to the pit stop. So the milk thing, it's really the detour is the thing of this episode.
I will say though, milking a sheep, I mean, I'm not gonna love it, but I'd be like, hey sheep, what's up? Let's do this.
Yeah, let's communicate.
And then when they say you have to eat this bowl of yogurt, I would have been like, I do not like yogurt.
And the way the woman always said, she was so precise. Now you have to eat all of this
yogurt. Yeah. And like honestly, it wasn't that much.
No. And they seem to like it.
They did.
I do not like, I mean, I don't know what Bulgarian yogurt tastes like versus Greek yogurt.
Like? Yeah.
But to me, Greek yogurt is so sour. And like, I just don't, I could get down with like a Yoplait with the fruit mixed in and it's like got 50 grams of added sugar. But like yogurt that's just plain like that, I'm like, this
they seem to love it. Everyone was like, oh, this is delicious.
And that old woman was just there spoon feeding herself all day.
Except for Holden, who was like, can I wash my hands?
Yeah. He's like, I literally have sheep poop on my hand. And the woman is like,
but I was surprised
I could ask for a napkin.
No one asked, or no one had an issue with the yogurt.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to choke it down for the race.
Yeah.
But I was like waiting for someone to be like, oh God, really? To eat this?
Yeah. But Alyssa threw.
Yeah.
Han and Holden are going back for their 3rd trip of the wood. And Jack and Carson are just now arriving to the apples.
Oh my God. Finally, they've made it to the game. They get to play.
We're like over halfway through the episode.
Yeah, no one is anywhere nearby. They are like, oh yeah, we're doomed. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
brings us to the U-turn because Melinda is gonna find the rope in the hay. They're fine. So they now are like, U-turn ahead or whatever. And now this is back of the pack-ish.
And this is right around when Nick and Mike have shorted themselves by literally 1 kilogram to finish. So this is like they actually did go back and get more than what they started with.
Wait, where are you talking? I got distracted by Jack and Carson.
Oh, hello. Hi, guys.
Where are you talking about?
The brothers were short 1 kilogram.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Wood. So they did go back and get more wood than the first trip.
Oh,
because you had to end up with 200 kilograms. If they got 80 something, they came back with 120 minus 1, whatever it was that they needed.
Right. They have to go back for that 3rd trip of wood.
It's like 1 piece of wood, 2 kilograms.
1 or 2 pieces of wood. If they had put it on the first load, Because like how can you carry so much more that second load?
Yeah.
They just needed to load it up more that first time. But goodness, Jack and Carson, I cannot believe how far y'all drove out of the way. That was so wild.
This is truly one of the most miraculous things that I think I've ever seen for a team.
Shook
but like, good for y'all to have a reputation of like, there's no way Jack and Carson are in the back of the pack, so there's no point in you turning them.
Exactly. Because now we've got Melinda running to the U-turn because she thinks she has to U-turn Nick and Mike, not even assuming that Jack and Carson are like way lost like they are.
Yeah. Yep. So it is a foot race to the double U-turn. And I mean, if Melinda and Erica had been U-turned, oh boy, that would have been horrible. I wonder what Nick and Mike would have done. Like, would they have U-turned Melinda and Erica? Would they have U-turned?
They knew Han and Holden were behind them. So I think Han and Holden were screwed no matter what.
Yeah. Okay.
But had Nick and Mike maybe made it up there, if they had gotten that piece of wood earlier and got to the U-turn first, they probably would have done Han and Holden, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Because so they don't know that there are 3 people behind them, Melinda and Erica. And
they think there's one. They don't even realize, I think, that Han and Holden are behind.
Yeah. I don't know how they missed that.
Yeah.
So they're doing Nick and Mike. Then they open the clue box and see that there's more clues. So they give Nick and Mike that information.
Yeah.
There are 2 more clues in here.
Yeah.
But of course, Nick and Mike are like,
they already know.
Han and Holden are the only team we know that are behind us. They don't know that Jack and Carson are an option.
Yes.
So that is where we are. Those are the 2 teams that are going to have to go back and do it.
Is there any point in even going through the roadblock? Do you want to keep going through it? It's just like Mark finishes and then he eats his yogurt. Anna finishes and then she eats.
No. I have no other more notes that are important.
Okay, great. So, let's focus on the haystack and the.
So yeah, everyone's gonna move on. They're gonna eat their yogurt and go to the pit stop.
Yeah.
Except that Mike and Nick are gonna now run to the haystack.
Yeah.
And Han and Holden are eventually gonna go
realize that they've been U-turned.
Yeah.
Because they just do 3 trips with the wood and then they realize we got U-turned.
Yeah. So they're both at the haystack. Right. So Nick and Mike's strategy is just to go.
Well, Nick's.
Oh, was it just Nick?
Mike kept being like, bro, you got to sift through the hay because you're going to throw it in a big chunk. And Nick's like, literally throwing an eighth of a haystack to the side.
Hey,
and it's, I mean, he's clearly upset. Yeah. He's defeated. This is the behavior of like, I don't want to try anymore because every other team was sifting through the hay and would pick up chunks and shake them off. Like everybody kind of got what you were supposed to do. And I think he got what he was supposed to do. And Mike was trying to, I don't know what I would have done if you were behaving like that. Because if I'm Mike, I'm like,
shove me into the hay.
I actually might have been like, you know what? I'll just do it.
Yeah.
You are going to lose it.
Yeah.
And then we're never going to be able to find it.
Because we're going to
the hay's going to be spread out all over the field.
And that is harder.
And at that point, there's no way for us to understand what we've already been through, looked through.
Right.
So I think if you had been throwing chunks of hay indiscriminately, I would have been like, why don't you have a seat? And I'm just going to try to do this by myself. Because if you lose it amongst the hay like this, then we legitimately will never find it, which is what we see.
Yeah. So the other, Nick and Mike did mention to me that they heard Alyssa and Josiah say that they found it in the middle of the stack. So I think that, besides being frustrated that they were U-turned, knowing that needle in a haystack is already hard. And then to be like, okay, they found it in the middle. Let's just get to the middle.
Sure.
It was just a layer of a lot of things that are going to backfire.
Yeah.
Han and Holden are like, we're just a little bit more detail oriented than Nick and Mike.
A little bit. Yeah.
And the fact that they know that.
Yeah.
So.
And they were like, this is about precision, slow and steady. Because very quickly, Nick and Mike were on their 3rd haystack without having found the token.
Yeah. I think there is also something mental about, I don't like having 3 haystacks. Because you're like, if I can't find it here, I've got to move on to that next haystack. So if it's just the one, I don't know, maybe I'd work more precise.
I think you would.
Well, I would.
That's part of it. Yeah.
I would have been like, hey, speak to me. I would not be doing all that.
Yeah,
I would have.
Haystack.
I would have been one with the hay.
So Eventually, the bros have gone through all 3 haystacks. Holden finds his token. Jack and Carson get their clue in the library. Haystack or woodstack? Haystack? Sure, why not?
Why not?
Who cares? It doesn't
Sure,
matter what we
let's
do.
go.
Let's try it.
Let's try
We
it.
have time to find something in a haystack. Sure.
Sure.
When they finally get there, they're like, back to the wood. These brothers are waiting around in hay, lost, completely lost.
Well, first off, you're like, there's a team here?
Yeah. Oh, they were stunned.
Jack and Carson are like, our show, we're ended. This is it. We're done. And there's a team here? That is a miracle. I mean, I was shocked. I thought Jack and Carson were doomed. And here we are.
I
They
did
show
too.
up and we're all together at the haystack.
If I'm Jack and Carson and I show up and I see a team, I'm shocked, but I think I would. Oh, it's the brothers.
Oh, but also,
I think I'd catch myself mid-gasp and I'd be like, oh, this isn't totally surprising
yeah,
to see this team here
um,
based on track record.
and they kind of figure out like the whole U-turn of it all, right? They haven't been U-turned.
Yeah. No, and they like the brothers are considering a penalty, and then Jack and Carson show up.
Right. Oh my God.
When
If they
that
had
happened,
taken
I'm
that
like,
penalty.
If they had taken that penalty 2 hours ago, because they're talking about like we've been here for hours.
Yeah.
And we've already seen in the episode Jack and Carson are saying they're hours behind.
Yeah.
I think if Mike and Nick, there's no reason that they would take a penalty immediately, but if they had taken the penalty immediately at getting to the haystack, they would have beat Jack and Carson, I think. Because isn't it just like a 2-hour penalty?
Sometimes it's 4.
Oh, okay. So it may have been.
And I think it's dependent on like the task and stuff. But yeah, that's interesting. If they had taken it just like half an hour before Jack and Carson showed up, they'd have been like, oh my God, because then they're just screwed.
Yeah.
But Jack and Carson do the right thing. They say, first off, these men look like they are falling apart.
Oh, yeah.
We do not want to live that
They
life.
have that energy.
And we know that the wood
It's
at
just
least
physical.
has a like get it done.
Yeah.
An
And
ending to it.
Maybe we can pass them.
Yeah. So they go for it.
They do it. They really struggle with the weight of it all in the wood.
Sure.
But they coach each other through it. They get done.
And don't you imagine they have like that, like, oh, we're in it still.
Yes,
like
but
that.
they still have to find a U-turn first.
Yeah.
So then they're like, we probably got U-turned. And
Yeah.
then they see that and they're like, this is insane.
Right.
But again, it's just because nobody ever
The
would have
luckiest
suspected
day.
that they would be that far behind. So they wouldn't have even pinpointed them as a target for a U-turn.
No. Okay. So we forgot. I mean, we didn't mention Han Holden found it, obviously, before Mick and Mike had a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
But we are going to go through the pit stop because Mike and Nick are going to be eliminated right there at the haystack.
Yeah.
But oh my God, David, the shady ass camera shot
Of what?
of the needle in the haystack. Did you miss it?
No. Stop it.
David, the camera, Nick and Mike, you see them like looking off at hay and the camera goes like this and showed us the yarn in the hay.
Oh my God, that is horrible
The
to watch back for them.
Saw it.
Like I found it actually.
Yes. And then they do it again when the guys are
my
closer.
God.
The camera goes like that and shows us the yarn.
Oh my God, that is horrible. And like on top of that, they just keep saying as they're kicking hay around because they have no strength left to look through it. They're like, we needed 1 more kilogram of wood. Like,
I know.
that's all we
I mean,
needed.
honestly, they're
and
just
they would have been
kicking
ahead
themselves.
of Melinda and Erica.
Right. And they wouldn't have been U-turn. And that
Yeah.
does make the whole difference.
Yeah.
So
my God.
Jack
Yeah,
and
that
Carson, you owe
The
Melinda. and
hunching,
Erica.
I was like, oh, that looks like it hurts.
Yeah, no, that looked awful, but you
Yeah.
guys powered through.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. So let's go through the pit stop and
Okay.
then we'll get to the eliminator.
Alyssa and Josiah, I've never seen someone more excited about Morocco.
They are so adorable.
He is so cute.
They are happy about everything and I love it so much. It's contagious.
Brett and Mark, your boys.
Boys.
Your boys. By the way,
Second place.
Jack or Carson, I think maybe Carson was posting about like, y'all better like
Yes,
give
Mark.
some love to Mark on the Drag Race finale.
Yes, thank you.
I watched it.
Yep.
He looked great.
Yes,
I realized when they say he's a Vegas dancer, he
Yeah.
literally dances in RuPaul's Drag Race Live. That's his job.
Oh, is that his show now?
Yeah,
Oh.
gotta be. Because then I went back to last season because last season when they do the drag makeover challenge,
Uh-huh.
they made over dancers in the RuPaul's Drag Race live show,
Was
and
he
Mark
in
was
it?
one of them. Yeah. So Mark has been all over Drag Race.
Yes,
Lovely
I
to see
saw
that
Jack and
together.
or Carson post that. I forget
Mhm.
who it was, and I immediately messaged David and
Yeah.
was like, look out
Are
for
you
Mark.
watching Drag Race?
Yes. He was in the Shania Twain Vegas.
Fun.
Show,
Oh, he's just a regular out there.
That was a while ago, but I saw that show live, so I wonder if I saw him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Your faves.
love.
Jonathan and Anna are third.
Still,
I think it's a great showing.
Oh my god!
But still upset by it because they lost their lead.
Well, I mean, it's not. It was a hard day. They were in a ditch, but
yeah,
that's pretty good for third place.
I know.
Yeah.
Han and Holden fourth. How did Han and Holden get in front of Melinda and Erica?
I don't know.
They got in front of them by the roadblock. Han and Holden got to them sheep milking before Melinda and Erica did. And that's like after Melinda and Erica left and Han and Holden got double U-turned.
Yeah.
So I was like, how did that happen? But they got lost. And
maybe it's that map reading, Erica.
Yeah, truly. But they're still in it. And they're just like, Melinda, I think, is in disbelief. She's like, fifth place?
I know.
Fifth place?
What mother-daughter team has done this in the past 10 years or so? Like, I have no idea.
I know.
This is wild.
But they're just getting so little of it that I'm like, they must be out next. Or after or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Jack and Carson. Jack and Carson get an amazing, like, slow-mo finish because Nick and Mike, there's no race to the pit stop here. Nick and Mike are stuck at the hay. So they do this, like, slow-mo through the milking and Jack and Carson running up to the pit stop and jumping into each other's arms in sixth place. And they are still in it. It is unbelievable that they are still in the race.
So amazing.
Yeah.
And that is why you keep a positive attitude and you just keep moving because you never know.
I mean, they had like...
You just never know.
They had that perspective in their exit interview of like, you never, ever, ever, ever know. We drove 40 miles.
Towns.
The wrong way.
The wrong way.
And somehow we're still in this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So now Phil's going to walk up on the haystack.
He said, how long you been here? 6 hours.
6 hours. I would definitely lose my mind at around that time. Yeah.
Also, I'd be like, I'm sunburned.
Yeah. Oh, you would be.
I can't be out here.
The haymaster man was like lounging.
He was lounging.
He gave up.
He's like, they're not going to find it.
Yeah.
Although he probably knew where it was, just like the cameraman. They have a nice little speech, you know, not at the mat with Phil about the experience. Mike said they rode camels. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they did. They rode camels in
Dubai?
Somewhere.
I don't remember that. This season?
Yeah.
I don't think they aired that.
Didn't we just have camels?
I don't remember Nick and Mike on a camel.
I'm going through my notes, guys. The chat would know it before me.
Through the notes. Why isn't it highlighting camel?
Because I haven't found it yet. Well, it's not there yet.
Oh, you have to scroll to
find it? The word. There it is. Skydive in Dubai on camel's foot race to an end. To the end is what I wrote down.
But did they ever show the camels?
Yes, camels in Dubai before the skydive. That's right. They
rode camels to the skydiving.
Yeah,
of course they did. I don't remember that.
What were you about to be like?
I was like, I discovered a problem. They didn't air that segment because I do think sometimes there are things in these shows that they don't air.
That's true. They do cut some, but not in these 90-minute episodes.
Nope. They got to show it all. So the brothers are gone. I'm not surprised. I thought they'd be gone last week.
Oh.
But they got to live their dream.
They sure did. Look, never give up on your dreams. The fact that they applied for years and years and years to get on the show, I give them so much credit for that.
I know,
because I give up constantly.
Constantly.
And haven't applied in forever.
But you know what? You would not give up at the haystack.
I would not.
You'd say, hey.
Hey.
That's...
You and me, hey. Tell me where it is, hey. Be like this. And they'd be like, stretch you because I'm allergic.
Yeah. But it was sweet that Phil's like, you guys applied 7 times. You got to run 7 legs. There's kind of like a beautiful symmetry to all of that. And they're, you know, they've always been positive guys, despite the fact that I think they've sort of been relegated to this place in the race the whole time, and they're leaving the race. They're like, I think our families are going to be so proud of us, and we're better men because of the race. And
they obviously did not do as well as they thought they would do. They didn't do as well as we thought. We thought they were for sure top tier team.
Yeah, I thought they were top 3.
When I talked to them in our exit interview, they did have interesting mindset from that first episode. I forgot, because that first episode, they got a top 5 finish, but they were part of that foot race.
We were almost eliminated.
3 teams.
I saw that part of your interview. Yeah.
Came up to the mat, and that's when the older gentlemen's Larry and somebody.
Larry and David, something like that.
Larry David.
Yeah.
They got eliminated.
Yeah.
And so, like, that fear of, oh my gosh, like, we thought we would be so great on this race, and we literally almost left the first leg.
Yeah.
And they just seem to not be able to shake that anxiety, which is really, that stinks.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So we're down to our top 6. Jack and Carson still in it.
They're so good. They're making the finale for sure.
They got some ground to make up, they're going to they're going to beat Melinda and Erica.
Drive that far ever again without asking for directions. Just ask. Who's out next? Melinda and Erica?
I think so. And then I could see Han and Holden sneaking into like a top 4, but then I would assume that they would be out next. And because I just think the top 4 teams are Alyssa and Josiah, Jonathan and Anna, Jack and Carson, and Brett and Mark.
Mm-hmm. I would think so too.
Yeah.
I would think so. So our next 2 teams would probably be Melinda and Erica, Han and Holden, in whatever order that turns out to be. But yeah, that would be my guess, I think. Let's see. Where are we?
Oh, yeah. You got to open the draft. Huh?
In our point.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Let's do it. Let's hear.
Yeah. David's out of it.
15 points. And if I didn't have Scott and Lori, I would have 3.
Wouldn't that be fun if David only had 3 points? We gave him a few more. I have 19 points, y'all.
Okay.
Ricky and Cesar are tied at 29 points.
Wow.
No, that's not right. I didn't finish. Oh, right. Here we go. Hold on.
Here we go.
Live.
Why'd you give Carson and Jack 6? You didn't even do leg 6.
Wait, what?
You didn't even finish.
This is leg 6.
No, this is leg 7. This is episode 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Because you only gave Jack and Carson 5 for 6, and you didn't fill in the rest.
Y'all, we are way wrong.
Woof.
I'm gonna have to get back to the sticks much more.
I definitely only have 15 points because I can promise you the brothers didn't give any more points.
Nope.
So I do have 15, but you probably have more than 19.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I gotta get more points.
Yeah.
Hold on. I didn't put in last week's or this week's. Apparently, I don't know what I did there. That's big brain.
Give her a break.
I don't know what happened.
Give her a break. But so next time,
I am beating David. That's all that matters.
That's the truth.
Yep.
She is. So next time, more Bulgaria, and then there's another express pass that people are going to be fighting for. Seems like walking on coals.
Oh, right. We've been seeing this in the preview for like, I was like, this is not in this episode. Like, stop showing me this in the preview.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for that.
But yeah, I'm excited. I would absolutely walk on coals. I would be excited to walk on coals.
I think I would want to try it too.
Yeah, I just want to try it.
Yeah.
That seems fun.
Yeah.
I'll definitely do it for an express pass.
And I honestly would walk on nails too.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would do it.
Owie.
People do it all the time.
Do they?
Yeah. Sign me up for that.
Okay. I'll sign you up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we should be back same time, same place next week.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here in the chat. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. And Jack and Carson, this is the first time I'd seen them in the chat. So have they been there before?
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen them.
Love it. Happy to have you guys here. Yeah. And for those of you joining us later, leave us a comment and let us know how you feel about the brothers getting eliminated. Jack and Carson's miraculous 6th place finish out of 7. And who do you think is going next in Bulgaria?
Ooh, all right. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.